So this is a story about staying true to yourself. Have you ever experienced anything like that?
Yes, absolutely. um, I've uh, I've played in a band for years, and there's been lots of instances where A&R reps or just music industry people in general have kind of tried to pull me and my band in different directions. And yeah, it's always been one of those things where you have to listen kind of to what feels right to you, and yeah, that inner voice or that just that musical path that you're on. So um, yeah, I've definitely had experience with the with all kinds of kind of, I don't know, in that world anyway.
So, how much of your voice recording was actually done during the pandemic? And did that affect the way that you typically work when you're doing recording for voiceover kind of stuff?
Yeah, luckily we did this all before the
Okay.
pandemic thing. So, yeah, it was so nice. It's like so lovely to remember being in a studio with everybody working together and like sweat and tears and smells, all those things that you kind of forget about. Yeah, we haven't done that in over a year. So, um, yeah, it was all done pre-pandemic, and we didn't know what was coming for us. So luckily
So
we had
you,
Bell as a
yeah.
cast.
So you
Yeah.
had human interaction.
Real interception, yes. Yeah, it was a total treat. And yeah, I definitely look back on those days very fondly, as we obviously haven't been able to do that in a year and a bit. So yeah,
Yes.
soon we'll get back to sharing that energy in that space.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
Breathe on me, I just want someone to like just and like a little bit of spit will come on my face. That's all I want.
Uh, Darma loves to rock out, and I know you were just saying you're in a band. Did that help prepare you to play this role? Is that kind of what attracted you to her and her energy?
Yeah, I mean, it was so cool to kind of have those worlds collide. I've been pursuing music for most of my adult life, and as well as voiceover work. So they've always sort of, ebbed and flowed together. And it was really cool to kind of have an opportunity to bring my experience as a musician and a touring musician into like the voice world. So yeah, it's not every day you kind of have a script that sort of parallels your life. Like I've, those scenes where they're in the bus together, like with junk food all over them. And like, I've lived that. I've been there. I've craved a healthy meal and like had to stop at a gas station for dinner. But yeah, I think I was really, really neat to be able to kind of have that background and know exactly where Dharma's coming from. And also just the interpersonal relationships with her and Bodi and Gerber, and yeah, just the band being like a second family. Like I have that in my life.
So on your bio, I had read that you studied flute at your music conservatory. I played flute, so kind of, stuck in my memory. But I also noticed that you played glockenspiel.
The glockenspiel, yes, yes. I dabble in a lot of different things. I kind of just like to create music with whatever I can get my hands on.
Sure.
Recently, it's out on my table right now. This is a kalimba. It's like I've been writing some songs on this, which is really fun. I think, yeah, there's no limitations. Like I'm not really good at any instrument, and obviously flute as my first instrument doesn't really make sense for me as a songwriter. It was a bit of a I should have taken piano as a kid, but I took flute for some reason. But yeah, I just feel like a lot of, especially like cool old, this is like a vintage like 1950s, there's songs in here. I just feel like there's so many instruments that you can kind of like get into, and if you have some sort of musical capability, like you can bring a song out of anything. So yeah, I dabble in a lot of stuff. I've been playing a lot of ukulele recently just because it's easy to transport. But yeah, I haven't played the glockenspiel in a little bit, but I should bring out my mallets and go to town pretty soon.
It's
Is
just
there
one of
any
those unique
instrument?
ones
Oh,
that,
sorry.
oh, so, I was just going to say, it's one of those unique ones that kind of stands out. So I was intrigued.
Yeah, I used to, I mean, I've played it in my band, and it's like, you know, it's a very cute instrument. I think I had a child's glockenspiel for a while, but I updated to like an adult one. So to get back into it.
I was just gonna say, so I mean, I never expected to see, that instrument on the Zoom call today. Like, it's because it's unique. Is there anything that you haven't played that you want to play? Anything you want to learn, like musically, like an instrument? Because that's super cool.
Oh, there's so many cool harp. I love the harp. I'm a big fan of Jana, who's like an incredible harp player. My sister actually plays bass in a band in Toronto, and I think that's so badass. Like, I would love to be able to like hold down a really good bass line and sing. I'm not good at bass at all. Like, I don't have that kind of capability of like it's like this, rubbing your tummy and patting your head. Is that what you do? That part is tricky, but yeah, I think bass guitar. Maybe I'll get my sister to teach me some bass licks in the future. But yeah, I think bass, especially a woman, like a female playing bass, like holding down a bass line, I think it's just awesome. Harp and bass, I guess, are my answers.
So what messages do you want kids to take away from Rock Dog 2?
Yeah, I think there's just a really beautiful message of staying true to yourself and really listening to the people that you love and that love you the most in your life. Because yeah, that just seems to be the thing that hit me the most, like having, listening to your parents. I've always had very supportive parents in my musical upbringing, and really amazing friends. And when there's someone that's like, some industry person who's telling you to be a certain way, it doesn't feel right. I think listening to the people that you've grown up with, and also just listening to that person inside of you, like that inner truth that always tends to come up, like I think just having that as a base, and really trusting your gut, and yeah, just following your own truth, because I think we all know what that is. It's sometimes hard to turn down the noise from the outside and really turn that up. So yeah, I think that seems to be the message that I think I connected with the most.
Definitely. I saw there's already plans for Rock Dog 3, which is exciting and awesome. And you're going to be in it again as Darma. It's like, when did they let you know that? Like, that's super, I was surprised to see it, because this one's just coming out. So then for there to already be another one, I was like, oh, okay.
I think nothing's officially official on as far as I know, but there definitely are rumors, and I feel like, yeah, there's some things floating around on IMDb, maybe some eager beavers that are a little trigger happy on that, but we haven't started recording anything yet. So yeah, I think obviously it's been a very hard year for a lot of production stuff to come together. So yeah, hopefully there'll be some information on that in the future. So it excites me. I mean, I'm ready to jump into Darma's role again. So we'll see.
Oh, fingers crossed.
So if it's not Darma in Rock Dog 3, or if it is Darma in Rock Dog 3, what else is next for you? Where let me try that again. Wow. You'd think I hadn't had any coffee yet today. Where will your fans be able to hear you next or see you play?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of exciting things that I can't talk about in the animation world. There's a really exciting project that I've been recording over the pandemic, not in the same room as any of the actors, but that should be coming out soon. I wish I could say what it is. But I also have, I'm a musician, as I mentioned, and I have a solo album coming out at the end of June. It's called Before All the Magic's Gone. And it's it's a solo album from me, Ashleigh Ball. And yeah, I've been releasing singles over the pandemic. Obviously it's been a tricky time to release music, but also I think a really important time for people to kind of sit with their music and yeah, remember the good old days of live shows, and I know they're coming back soon, but yeah, that's kind of the next thing on my big list of events is, yeah, releasing this album in June 25th.
That's really exciting.
Yeah,
that's great.
Congratulations.
Yes, congrats.
yay.
Awesome.
Yeah, you can
Do
find
you
it.
have, sorry.
I'm gonna say it's the easy find on all the streaming platforms. Music's so accessible these days. It's like,
Right.
yeah, easy peasy.
I was gonna say my daughter is a big fan of you as Applejack in My Little Pony. She was super excited. She's like, oh, I love her. I love the voice. And I'm like, yes. So she actually wanted me to ask, is there any advice you have for a young person who might want to get into voice acting?
Yeah, I feel like the industry has changed so much since I started. I was really lucky and kind of got scooped up by an agent and kind of pulled out of performing arts school. And uh, TikTok was not a thing. Like social media wasn't a thing. Like it was very different back then. I feel like a lot of people that I know. I mean, I have a good friend that's been thriving in the voice industry, and he just does VO videos on TikTok, and he's getting all kinds of recognition. He's like got signed in Atlanta with some Atlantic agent, and he is doing really well. So I feel like even just putting yourself out there on like, yeah, social platforms right now, kind of that's something immediate that you can do for yourself. I mean, I would suggest recording a demo and just doing as much as you can. Like fooling around with voices is like the best advice I could probably give you. Like imitating your favorite voices. If you have like, I remember I was obsessed with The Simpsons. I still kind of am, like trying to do those, like the Bart Simpson, the Marge Simpson, like that. Any of your favorite animated characters, kind of trying to imitate them. Or I've played a lot of little boys in animated in animation, and just listening to, like, just kind of really listening to kids, and like I imitated like a lot of little kids that I know in my like my friends' kids or my niece and nephew or whoever it is. So yeah, I think just kind of paying attention to the weird and wonderful voices that are all around you, and yeah, just putting yourself out there, I guess, as much as you can.
Great. I'll let her know. Thank you.
She's gonna be a TikTok star, I can tell.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, she
Help
is.
me.
I've seen the one she's recorded with Sophie.
Oh, yes.
Our daughters are friends.
Oh
They have created content together. They're kind of funny.
yeah.
So I have two more quick questions for you. Well, one is pretty quick. The other one might not be as quick, but so the first one is that I heard a rumor about a story related to Gene Simmons and KISS.
Yeah, that's I guess that kind of went with the first question that you asked. Well, being in a band for years, we had a bit of a run-in when we first started getting our, getting our touring chops going, and we started getting some label interest from a certain person in the States, and I actually got a cold call. I got a cold call from Gene Simmons. Like, he just phoned me up, and I have a lot of people that are in my life that are voice actors, right? Because I'm a voice actor. Like, a lot of people could do a Gene Simmons voice, no problem. I thought it was a friend of mine. I was like, there's no way this is real. So I was kind of going along with it, and then like halfway through the conversation, I was like, oh, this is actually Gene Simmons calling me on the phone. Like, what? Anyway, he ended up taking some interest in my band at the time and flying up to Vancouver with a film crew, and we set up a private showcase for him. And he was just starting this label, and he took us all out for dinner and brought out his KISS credit card and was like, we're talking about the music business. We're not just talking about music. And he was very like, cut and dry, had a lot of amazing advice, but also, he had a lot of particular ways of looking at the music industry. And yeah, we kind of, he courted us for a while, and there was definitely some tempting offers on the table, but it didn't make sense for us as a band. Like we were this kind of like quintessential West Coast pop group that it wouldn't have really made sense for us like to sign with the likes of Gene Simmons. It just didn't feel right. I think we all kind of knew that in our heart of hearts, and that's another example of listening to that inner tuition and knowing like this isn't the right path for us. So yeah, we passed on the prospect of signing with Gene Simmons, and that was a big learning experience. I feel like we could have been on a very different trajectory if we had signed with him, but we knew it wasn't the right move. So yeah.
Yeah. Just like Bodi.
I know, right?
And similarly to Ashleigh earlier, so My Little Pony, you've done a ton of voicing for. Could you do a couple of My Little Pony voices for us?
Well, it depends on who you ask. Is your favorite Rainbow Dash? Because Rainbow Dash is awesome. And then, of course, there's Applejack, who's your classic country pony, who just kind of sounds like Reba McEntire.
I feel like I've played a bunch of other characters, but I can't really switch into them as quickly. But there they are.
That's awesome. Thank
That
you.
was perfect.
Oh, that's all I have. I have no more questions. Do you have anything,
that's
Ashleigh?
it for us. No, I think that was our time.
All right. Thank you so much for spending some time with
Ashleigh.
us.
Appreciate
Yes.
Chat with you
We
guys.
look forward to checking out your album and,
Yes.
of course, whatever big animation project that's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just keep an eye out for your name.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thanks.